Okay, since everybody seems to have a law degree, and it seems to think they know what's just and what's not just, my turn. I stayed quiet over the Thanksgiving holiday because we had two major cases going on. Kyle Rittenhouse came in first, then the Ahmaud Arbery case with the McMichaels. And I said from day one, Rittenhouse was innocent, McMichaels were guilty. And I'm gonna explain how. Rittenhouse, if you actually looked at the videotape, at all the videos, and put aside any political bias, he was innocent. And that was self-defense, pure and cut. Oh, but he was 17 with a gun. Yes, but under Wisconsin law, he broke no laws. He did not break the law. He could legally possess that rifle at 17 years old. And I'm sure if you start looking, Wisconsin is not the only state that has laws like that. I mean, here where I live, I knew when I was a kid, I knew several 17-year-olds that had guns that their parents had bought for them. Under Wisconsin law, he didn't break the law, but he crossed state lines. Oh, time out. He drove across state lines. The gun did not cross state lines. He worked in Kenosha. He had friends and family in Kenosha. He had every right to be there, and he was only there to protect businesses. And he was provoked and attacked. He didn't do anything to deserve that. He got attacked, and those three got what they had coming. Oh, but the judge was impartial. No, he was not. If you'd actually watched the trial from start to finish, the judge told the defense they could not refer to Joseph Rosenbaum or talk about his criminal past. They couldn't refer to the criminal past of Anthony Huber, who was convicted for domestic violence, and Gage Grosowitz, who was a convicted felon with a gun. Oh yeah, he was a convicted felon with a pistol, which means he was a prohibited possessor. But I bet you he cut a deal to avoid going to jail. Like, oh, testify for us, we'll make this go away kind of thing. I'm willing to bet that's what happened. And as for Joseph Rosenbaum, who was convicted of doing things that I can't say on social media because it will get me banned. And for all you people who put his face on posters and shirts, you make me sick. If you support that man and say that man was a hero, I got nothing for you. And if you support the BLM movement, they fully will stand on that podium and say that Joseph Rosenbaum was a hero, even though he was walking around saying racial slurs all night. Even though he wasn't there to protest, he was just there to light shit on fire. Facts, all on camera, all caught on video. When you say he's a hero, you have no sympathy for Joseph Rosenbaum's victims, who were all children, by the way, who are probably traumatized now more because they turn on the TV and what do they see? People holding up his face, saying that he was a hero, touting him as a saint. When he, in my personal opinion, he got what he had coming to him. The fact that he went to prison, served time behind those charges, and lived to walk out of prison is beyond me. What happened to him was a long time coming. But what started the whole thing? Oh, yeah, Jacob Blake got shot. Well, what was Jacob Blake convicted of? Same thing. Jacob Blake had a laundry list of violent charges, violent sexual charges. And what was he trying to do? He was fixing to kidnap those kids that were inside that car. He got told over and over again, do not reach back into that car. What did he do? He reached back in the car, he got shot. That would have been the same if he was black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whole 9 yards. It would have been the exact same no matter what. Oh, but if Kyle was black, he'd have got life. No, he wouldn't have, because all of this was on camera. If Kyle would have been black, he would have still got the same deal. He would have got off. Matter of fact, if he was black, he wouldn't have spent 80-something days in jail, because the politicians would have bailed him out. Don't tell me they wouldn't have. They would have bailed him out. As for the McMichaels, they were guilty from day one. I said it from day one. They were guilty. Why? Because Ahmaud Arbery did nothing to them. They had no right to chase him. When Ahmaud Arbery was running away, they lost all right to pursue him. They had no right to pursue him to begin with. And the fact that he was shot 3 times at point blank range with a shotgun, 3 times. At that range with a shotgun, if he actually was a threat, there would have been 1 shot would have been more than enough. But he was shot 3 times. 3. That's way overkill. The McMichaels got what they had coming to them. So everybody who said, oh, well, Kyle got off, so now they're going to get off. No, they didn't. They were 2 very different cases. Kyle's case was straight self-defense. McMichael's straight unjustified homicide. But oh no, you didn't get a verdict you liked for Kyle, so the justice system is broken and rigged for white people. Okay, if that's the case, Poindexter, then how come 3 white men are now going to face life in prison? Or at least, I predict life in prison. I say if they don't get life in prison, then Georgia is going to be the world's biggest bonfire, because if they don't hand down life in prison, or death sentences for all 3 of them, you peaceful protesters will come out and will use that as an excuse to burn every city in the state of Georgia to the ground. Just simply because you didn't get what you wanted. Let me inform you of something. The court of public opinion is not the sole ruling factor. It is not the sole arbiter of justice. We have a constitution and a justice system, and yes, believe it or not, it still works. The Kyle Rittenhouse case was proof that it still works. The McMichaels going to prison is proof it still works. But that's not enough. This will follow Kyle to the day he dies, because he's trying to go to school and move on with his life. But not even 24 hours later after the verdict, what happened? Jerry Nadler. Oh, yes, I said his name, Jerry Nadler. Trying to convince the DOJ to federally review the case in federal court. Can't do that. Double jeopardy applies. Yes, it does. And I'll tell you why it applies. Because the 6th charge was thrown out. Because they could not prove that gun illegally crossed state lines, because it didn't. It never crossed state lines up until the point where he went to turn himself in. It never crossed state lines. He lived 30 minutes away from Kenosha. Like I said, literally, it's like if you live in Houston and you work in Pasadena, it's the same distance, the same amount of drive time. But you just couldn't accept it. You automatically, as soon as it happened, as soon as the shooting took place, all of us, as soon as it happened, you had already signed and sealed his death warrant. You all thought this was going to be a slam dunk case, but the prosecution dropped the ball big time because they had no case. The gun never crossed state lines, so therefore this will not fall under federal jurisdiction. You will waste more taxpayer time and money only to get proven yet again that he is innocent. And then what are you going to do? You're going to stand outside the Supreme Court with your pitchforks and your torches screaming, "No justice, no peace." And let me tell you something. To any politician who might see this and think that I'm just some racist hillbilly, the more you bend at a violent mob, it's never going to go away. It's never going to stop. It's never going to be enough. When are you people going to realize this? I mean, you guys in the media have ruined this kid's life. Now he can't go to school because people are literally trying to get the Arizona University to expel him before to say he can't even start his classes, because the students don't want a, quote, killer on campus, even though he did nothing wrong. If they somehow throw out double jeopardy to get Kyle retried, you're going to clap and cheer. But let me tell you something. Once you open that box, you're not going to be able to close it. You won't. Then Bill Cosby will get retried again because he got let out of prison. O.J. Simpson will get retried again. Casey Anthony will get retried again. Every case within the last 10, 15, 20 years that didn't get a verdict, that people felt there was no just verdict, will get retried. You will effectively shred the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, everything our forefathers stood for to make that happen. The fact they want to do that should tell you all you need to know. You people need to wake up. That's all I'm saying.